Hello again, everybody, back with another video after a long break. Very busy with work, but also I do find it quite difficult to have the inclination to make these videos with the fact that the channel is well electronically boxed in and I get very few views. But I had to make one about the Trump assassination attempt, and I've called it Decoded. I mean, it could say fake, which it is. I'm not sitting on the fence on this one. It clearly is fake. And this is the moment that the bullet allegedly struck his right ear. Conveniently, while he was looking at a screen over here, and out of shot. But one of the key things is these days people have their phones out, they're filming. They weren't filming in the back here. We'll see that there were three kind of terraces or seating areas, two at the side, one at the back of him, and probably nearly all of them were picked and, well, crisis actors, probably, and a guy called PK Truth. He's actually made quite a few good videos on this one. You might not always agree with PK, but those videos are pretty good, so feel free to go and take a look at those. Anyway, let's move on. So this is a little bit about what we know about the how the assassination attempt unfolded. So Trump took to the stage at 6:03 p.m. local time and 11:03 UK time. This is Sky News, that's why it's got that in. UK News. And of course 11 by 3 is 33, 6 by 11 is 66, and 33 in full reduction or Pythagorean is 66. So you can see the link there. There's a kind of double 33 there. Now various little maps came up, and this is an aerial view after it's all unfolded and people have left, and this is just showing the distance and where this area was, the stage. Now they've put the location of the suspect here, which you'll see makes perfect sense if you're looking for an angle to shoot from, but it has changed. It's changed, so they've moved it further over, and I'll explain probably why they've done that. So here's another diagram here. So we've got the shooter here. This is where the Secret Service snipers are, so they've got a good view of them. And this is the Trump stage. So shooting from here, he's got a clear shot here. Obviously, any other shots are going to go into this, and I think 8 were fired in total. There was a guy called Corey Comparator who was killed in this location here, which is there, look. And obviously if he's shooting from here, you've got to be pretty wayward. But if you say he was over here, then there's much more chance. And I think the news has changed. People start to come up with an explanation, and then they just change it around a little bit. But look at the number here, 137. We saw that we'll see that the date is 13/7, 13th of July, and we'll look at the code of 137 in a couple of slides time. Well, one slide time. I don't know my own presentation. So this is where they say the shooter is, which is consistent with all the others, and you can see here 137 meters. 137 is the 33rd prime number, and the date was 13th of July, 13/7. A coincidence? I think not. And I've just put this image here onto this image and lined it all up with these items here, so it's pretty much to scale. And from here, he's got quite a good shot straight through, but all the 8 shots would have blasted into people sat here. They do say there were a couple of people injured over here, because apparently the guy that did it was an awful shot, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So you'll see when I play some videos when I'm looking at the shoes and he was saying get my shoes or I want my shoes or something like that. We'll pick it up later. But at that time, this is the crucial time after he's been shot. And the bullet allegedly went through the top of his ear, and you got these strange little marks of blood here. But this is the money shot. This is what the photographers were there to get, and obviously they needed to get this. And it does kind of remind me of some troops raising an American flag in the Second World War. It's got a similar kind of look to it as that. You probably know that photograph, very famous photograph. But the shooter is Thomas Matthew Crooks, this weird looking guy here. Apparently a very, very bad shot, and his rifle only had a zero magnification lens with a red dot on it, which obviously wasn't brilliant. And so it helps with the story about him being a bad shot, doesn't it? And the wayward shots. But Thomas Matthew Crooks is 77, so 777. 7 code always for hoaxes. And that also, if you think about the London bombings, that was on July the 7th, so 7/7 day. TM Crooks is 114. 11 by 4 is 44, or death's door, or the kill number, and full reduction is 33 for masonry. If you look at Trump assassination attempt, it's 343. 343 is our 777 code, 7 by 7 by 7. Well, very interesting code. Okay, so we'll look at this date. I've mentioned 137 is the 33rd prime number, and we've got 13.7 here, 137. Already talked about that, so this is from Wiki. And if we look at 13th of July 24, that gives us 105 in ordinal and 48 in Chaldean numerology. Ordinal is English, A is 1, so it's 26. And 105, if we look, is 666 for 666. 48 is 666 in Pythagorean, and 911 is 105. So plenty of code in that. And we look at Butler Farm. So it's Butler Showgrounds, but Butler Farm is 116 for 66. 44 in full reduction for Death's Doors again. 66 is 33, and 3 sevens for 777, 33 being 66. That's just explaining that one. And that number 105 was, we've seen is coded there. This is just looking at some 105s over a period of time involving Donald Trump. So this one here was the 25th of April 2012. Doesn't look much different, does he? At a press conference after Trump's 105 minutes of evidence, alongside 2 CAT spokesmen to Holyrood's Energy and Tourism Committee. Something to do about his golf courses or something like that. But there's 105. Here, a pardon arrives 105 years too late, issued by Donald Trump, and this was for a Jack Johnson. But he obviously died. This is a 2018 article. This is Trump RNC raking massive $105 million in second quarter haul. So there's another one. Trump has 105 million in the bank to influence intra-GOP battles. This is 2021. And Biden has appointed 105 federal judges, outpacing Trump, Obama and Bush. So this one is 2023. and Trump media announces 105 million raised from DJT warrants. So this one is a July 2024 article. Now, here's another one here. I just found this on Amazon. It's Let's Make Turning 105 Great Again. Donald Trump 105 birthday gift, lined notebook. So there you go. Here it is, look, turning 105. Very interesting. But more significantly with 105, way back on the 30th of March 1981, there was an attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. So this is the next down the list, attempted assassination of a sitting president or an ex-president or a president-to-be. And that, of course, that's March 30, 33 day. And during that, I've not looked at all the code, but a guy called Tim McCarthy was actually injured as well. And that's in English Ordinals 133, which is biblical 600, 6 for 666. But more importantly, when we look at the dates of the anniversary of Ronnie's assassination attempt to when Trump was assassinated, so that will be the 30th of the 3rd, 2024 to the 13th of the 7th, 2024. Look what we've got there, 105 days. Again, that's 911, and it's also 666. So, coincidence? Who knows? But I say definitely not. And we can look at Independence Day, which is the 4th of the 7th, 2024. Assassination attempt, 13th of the 7th, 2024. And we've got 9 days. But 9 days is 216 hours, and 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. Now if we move on and we look at when Abraham Lincoln's assassination was, that was April the 14th, 1865. So the anniversary will be April the 14th, 2024. And when we look at that, it's 90 days. And that is 2160 hours, or 6 times 6 times 6. Now if we look at when Trump announced his candidacy, I can never say that, candidacy, and when Trump was allegedly, there was an assassination attempt, and we look at when that period of time, we actually get 606 days. So there's a 66 there again for 33 for Masonry. Now, just looking at Ronnie's assassination attempt, Ronald Reagan's, and the anniversary of Lincoln's assassination, that was the 30th of the 3rd, 1981, to the 14th of the 4th, 1981. Look what we get. We get 15 days, and 15 days, there's the 216 again for 6 times 6 times 6. We've also got 360, 3 sixes for 666. So we could argue there's also a 21 here, 2 weeks, 1 day, for 7 times 7 times 7. Stretching it a little bit more on that one, but see that number and those dates, I find that quite amazing. Now just a little bit more code here. Bitcoin pushes 66k following Donald Trump assassination attempts. We've got our 66 for 33. And now this one is about the guy that was allegedly shot and killed in the stands, that a stray shot struck him in the head. So here's Trump with his firefighting helmet and jacket, and Trump apparently walked over and kissed the helmet before calling for a moment of silence. Now if we look at Corey Comparator, that's 33 CC for 33. And if we look at Corey Comparator, it's 66 in Chaldean for our 33. 66 is also a master number, but I think it's more linked to 33. So really strange. This one, if we look at comparator, that's the 48 for 666 spelt out in that's in Chaldean numerology. If we look at Corey, that's 66 again for 33, and that's just showing you 33 is 66. Now this misses the A for some reason, so it's a misspelling. But if we look at comparator, it's that number 56, which is 7 times 7 plus 7, and it's also in full reduction. 911 is 56, so we've got a 911 and a 777 code there. Coincidence? Oh, and of course, don't miss this, we've got 2 sevens for the 77 code there. There's another 33 here. Trump media stock soars 33% after the assassination attempt. And now moving on to the shoes. Now during it, we'll see a little video now where he's saying, get my shoes, get my shoes. Big emphasis on the shoes, but they actually leave. I'm not sure how they came off when he ducked down, but they did. But one of the shoes was hurled off the platform by one of the so-called Secret Service agents, and the other one was just left there. I think this is his Make America Great Again Trump hat, and it's been dropped on the floor. I think the red side is underneath it. I might be wrong, but we've got black, red and white symbolism here, but I think this is more black and red. And also there is something, I think it's called the blue slipper or something like that, a Freemasonic symbol. But this was one of the famous photographs of the Kennedy assassination, and he was shot, and right in the middle front we've got these black and red coats of these two ladies. So we've got black and red here as well, haven't we? And why? I mean, I would imagine they're very, very expensive shoes, and why they didn't pick the president's shoes up and take them with him, I've got no idea. But I think they needed that shot, and that's why you'll see in these videos the press running around like mad. So I'll just play those videos now and add a little bit of commentary as we go through.
20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Now just take a look at that. Nobody there is holding a phone. Nobody got the shot of him being shot in his ear.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're good to move. We're clear. Let's move. We're clear. Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay.
I assume you heard that. He said, let me get my shoes twice, and we'll see if they actually get him his shoes.
Get that son of
I'm not sure if you saw that then. It was very quick, but watch what this person does here. Picks the shoe up and just tosses his very expensive shoe off the platform onto the grass. I assume to leave one shoe on the platform. So the president has just nearly been shot. Just look, what's this woman doing here? Oh, now they've got a proper military man with a gun. But look, they've got these cameramen just running around. They're waiting to get the money shot, look. They're waiting for it. Come on, cameraman. There we go. He's gone round there, look. There he is at the back, taking the money shot. Yeah, snap, snap, snap. You would not have you just wouldn't have cameramen running around like that. He would be off that stage like a shot. Anybody else would be told to get out of the way. It's an absolute joke. It really is. How anybody can believe this bollocks. Okay, so we'll move on from there. Oh, I forgot to say one thing, didn't I? And that is shoes is 66, would you believe? Which is 33. So lots of 66 code in this one. Anyway, what they're kind of pushing now is, of course, it's real, has to be, doesn't it? And that the police and Secret Service miscommunication and incompetence, because they allegedly had already seen this guy on the roof, but they kind of just let him, waited around for 20 minutes for him to get shot. And some of the mainstream kind of truthers, and I put that in inverted commas, the QAnon bollocks, are pushing deep state involvement. Well, if it was going to be deep state, I'm sure they would have found somebody with a much better sight and a much better gun and a much better ability to shoot. Quite simply, Trump is a puppet actor of the world controllers, the world elite, and destined to be the next puppet president. This event is guaranteeing his votes, and most certainly this is a fake event. So that's my conclusion, and I think the code spells out all the truth of that. And at this point I would normally say goodbye, but I do have some bonus slides, and somebody did mention that in a comment, was I going to cover the Southport stabbings? And that is something that happened on the 29th of July in the UK, and there's been all kinds of riots and things, all manipulating the people and all linked to Keir Starmer. So let's have a quick look at that. I'm not going to cover all of it because I'm going to refer you to a video that covers it in much more detail and very good breakdown and decoding of this event. But it's the Southport stabbings. S in Chelsea numerology is 3, so we have a 33 there. And this Keir Starmer is the puppet Prime Minister, whose role basically is to be the face of an accelerated Agenda 2030 in the UK, and he was elected on the 5th of July 2024. The date of the stabbings, as I said, was the 29th of July. If we look at the time between those two dates, it's 24 days. 24 days is 3 weeks and 3 days for 33. Now, the date, 29th of July, if you add up all these numbers, I've left out the 0, it does come to 44 for death doors for the kill number. If we look at the 29th of July 2024, we've got that 105 again for 9/11 and 666. So it's just showing you where they come from. And then Keir Starmer, Mr. Agenda 2030, is 137, which is the 33rd prime number, and 56 again for 777. And 9/11, 7 times 7 plus 7. 49 plus 7 is 56. So he is very, very, very coded indeed. And the guy that did the stabbings is apparently an ex-child actor, and it's Alex Maganwa, what's that, Rudakabana. And if you plug that into calculator, in English ordinal, A is 1, Z is 26, it comes to 216, which is 6 times 6 by 6. And apparently this child actor was involved in a promotional video for a Doctor Who themed Children in Need advert, and this was, I think it was 2018. They've deleted that clip because this guy's in it. And interestingly, Doctor Who themed is 77 in Pythagorean, 72 in Chaldean, 2 sevens, just like on Corey's helmets for 777 code. Okay. Now, there is a great decode video on this, and the channel is Joseph Aquaviva 2222, and it's called UK Stabbing Spree at Taylor Swift themed event Decoded. There's a link here, but I will put it in the description. Now, what I will say about this UK stabbing and Keir Starmer got elected apparently with less votes than when Labour lost horribly at the previous election. The difference was Puppet Farage came out and took half the Conservatives' votes. Starmer was always going to be Prime Minister. I think they need him to accelerate the kind of destruction of it's not democratic, but the destruction of the Western culture, to have people fighting each other so they can put in loads and loads more control. All the manufacturing industry has virtually gone out of the UK now anyway. It's very much a service driven economy, but it's interesting to watch it all happen. They wheel out this guy called Tommy Robinson, who's got the sun in his name. He spends most of his time being paid by the elite on holiday, probably feeding his coke habit, and then they wheel him out and he appears, gets arrested, and then pisses off back on holiday again, probably more of his drugs, and then they just keep bringing him out, and he's what they call the far right. But you can see the way people are being manipulated. They are just kind of they're flooding the country with legal and illegal immigrants. They're being treated like gods, given hotels free. People get upset about it. They get riled up by these so-called truthers on YouTube, are all pushing this stabbing as real, and clearly isn't. And it's all part of their agenda. It's very, very clever. And there's probably absolutely sweet FA that we can do about it. But it's interesting to watch. Unfortunately, all the consequences will fall on everybody, including me. But that's the way it is. So please take a look at that video. If it's still up, I'm not sure whether this one will last on very long. But I will say now at this point, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and goodbye.